Hey first graders! Today in Writing Workshop, I want to talk to you about something very important. As writers, you make important decisions every single day. You make important decisions about where you want to add details. You make decisions about whether you want to work hard on one chapter on one day and work hard on an ending in another day. You make important decisions about making your characters talk and which punctuation mark you want to use. Today, I want to help you try to make those expert decisions about your big personal goals as a writer. And to do that, I want us to start off by picking one of our books from our series that we're working on so far. I have two books I can choose from so far in my series. I have Billy at the Beach and Billy at the Storm. I think I'm going to pick Billy at the Storm. And when you have your book, I want you to be really honest with yourself and ask yourself this question. What am I doing well as a writer? Go ahead and ask yourself, what am I doing well as a writer? And use this time to really look at your book and see what are the things that you're doing really well. When you're done with that, I want you to ask yourself this question. What do I want to work on next? By asking ourselves this question, what do I want to work on next, we can help ourselves set goals. That way I know when I start writing that I want to work on tackling that goal. Sometimes it might be a little bit tricky to answer these questions. What am I doing well? And what do I need to work on next? So what writers use is a checklist. We have a new checklist to help us keep track of our writing goals. So I want you to watch me as I use this writing checklist to help me set goals for my writing. And this checklist is going to be in your slides so that you can have it when you evaluate your writing as well. So I'm looking at Billy at the Storm. And the first thing on my checklist is I need to ask myself, did I make a pretend character? I know I made a pretend character. His name is Billy. So I know that I did that. Check. Did I give a character their name? Of course I did. His name was Billy. Check. Did I imagine an adventure for Billy? Well, in my story, Billy's adventure was that he went into the treehouse and then it started raining. And then he got stuck in the treehouse. So that was my adventure for him. So check. Oh my goodness, first graders. I did these first three things. So now I can answer my first question, which is what did I do well? Well, I did a really good job with coming up with a character and coming up with an adventure for him. Let's see what the other things on our checklist are, and maybe we can figure out what we can work on next. Let's see. Did I bring the character to life by making my characters move and talk? I think I did that, but I'm going to check in my book and look for proof that I did it. And when you check your own writing, I also want you to look for proof too. Don't just think that you did it and move on to the next point on the checklist. Actually look for evidence that you did those things in your book. So did I make my characters move and talk? Let me see. Well, I definitely made the character move and talk quite a bit. That's not true. I made him move a lot from his house to the tree house where he played, and then when he went inside the house. But now that I'm looking at my book, I noticed something. I noticed I didn't make Billy talk at all. Oh my goodness. So that's something I definitely need to work on. So I know I didn't do that quite yet, but I know when I work on my writing, I'm going to make sure I give Billy some things to say. Let's move on. Did I bring my character to life by telling in small steps? So that means that does my story make sense? Or am I just going from here to there and I'm not explaining how our character got there? If I look at my story, I think I did a pretty good job explaining that first Billy was bored, then he had an idea, then he went out inside the treehouse. Suddenly it started raining. So reading my story, I know that I'm telling everything in order. I also use words like then and finally so that I can link my story together. But you know what? I think I can do an even better job with telling my story in small steps, because I noticed that after it started raining and Billy wasn't sure if he should make a run for the house, on the next page, the rain has stopped. But I think I can tell a little bit more about what Billy does while he's stuck in the treehouse. So I think that's another thing that I can work on. Last, did I bring the character to life by making my characters think and feel? Well, I definitely talked about how Billy felt and what he was thinking too. Starting from the beginning, I showed that Billy was thinking because he had an idea to go into the treehouse. Let's see. I also showed Billy thinking by writing that he didn't know if he should stay in the treehouse or make a run for the house. And I showed how Billy was feeling at the very end where it says he felt safe at last. So for that one, I would say I did a pretty good job. Now first graders, did you notice that when I was going through each of these things on our checklist, I went back into my book and I looked for evidence that I did those things or that I didn't do those things? The things that I didn't do or the things that I felt I can do better, well, those are going to be my new writing goals for today. So the things that I still have to work on is I still have to work on making my characters talk. And I think I can do a better job at telling my story in small steps. Now it's your turn, first graders. Use the checklist in the next slide to help you evaluate your writing. And I want you to ask yourself, what did I do well? And then ask yourself, what can I do better? Use the checklist to help you answer those questions. If you're able to check things off, then you know you did that well. If you're not able to check things off, then you know those are the things that you need to still work on. It's very important to be really honest about your work as writers, because that's how we can make our writing even stronger. When you have your goals set and you know exactly what to work on to make your writing and your story even better, I want you to share your goals with your reading buddy at home, or share it with a parent or another family member. We're going to work on editing and revising our stories tomorrow. Great job today, first graders!